What's up, everyone? Welcome to Mock Draft Monday, Part 3. Remember when you said the first one that stuff wouldn't change, doing this every week?
Yeah, I might have been wrong there.
A lot has changed since the first rendition. Especially now we got your Vikings at 2 first-round picks, but let's get into the mock draft sim here, and I'll just start it. Since it's the third one, you are back to odd picks, sir. So you are up first.
Well, I have probably the easiest selection after trading away Fields. The Bears have played their hand. It's 100%, and it's Caleb Williams. They're going to take him. No doubt in my mind. They're going to pick the top QB prospect of this draft.
I concur. Yeah, I think that's one thing that hasn't really changed is kind of the top of the board, because I'm also sticking with the same guy that I think we've picked every time so far, and that's Jaden Daniels for the Commanders. I think he just fits what Cliff Kingsbury wants to do there in Washington with the more spread kind of offense and get the ball down the field. And he has the arm to do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm back the third, and history is going to repeat itself because the reason the Vikings got more draft capital, because I really think they're going to try to trade up to 3. And especially with the Patriots, with what the Patriots have done this offseason, I feel like they really have not set themselves up to draft a QB and have them start week 1. So I have Minnesota. They're going to package 11 and 23 here, and probably a future first easily. And you know what? Make it a third, 2025 third.
Instead of a first?
No, with the first. So
damn.
And then the third. I feel like, this probably will be more than likely the terms, probably maybe a little more, maybe a 2026 first or 2026 second from the Vikings as well. But I can see this happening in some form or fashion. I don't see players being moved. I don't see additional picks.
Really. I was going to say, dude, Justin Jefferson could be a chip.
No, they're not moving him. There's no way. The thing is, then you'd have to trade the Vikings a lot to get Jefferson. Just giving up 2 first-round picks and Jefferson for the third, not even close to good value.
All right. Well, we're going to have to force this trade because it didn't look like the Vikings were interested, apparently.
But
to PSF.
I see this happening. And going third, I think they're going to go with the guy I had them taking earlier. They're taking Drake May out of North Carolina. I've heard a lot of JJ talk. I could see him taking JJ at 5th. But if they get all the way to 3rd, I think they would take Drake May.
Yeah, I like that. And since I am on the Cardinals clock today, I'm going to go opposite. I am not picking Marvin Harrison Jr. I made my qualms known on Friday's show about I don't like the optics of him not working out at the combine nor his pro day. I just, I don't like that. I think you need to work out at least one of the 2. And apparently it's closer than people think with MHJ and Malik Neighbors. And I'm fine with picking either one. And I'm going to go with Malik Neighbors because of I don't like the character things that MHJ has done throughout the draft process. And Neighbors is the more explosive player anyways. So Kyler can throw deep to him.
Well, the Cardinals' loss is the Chargers' gain. Because if MHJ somehow falls to 5th, I could see the Chargers trading back, especially in a QB-heavy draft. But especially with the Vikings, Raiders, and Broncos. But the problem I have with that is with the Vikings in our mock draft trading up to 3, I don't see them wanting to give a in-division rival a quarterback. And especially if IMHJ's here, pair him with Justin Herbert, because, I mean, as we've seen with the Chargers, they got rid of a lot of offensive talent this offseason. And getting someone like MHJ would really, really give Herbert a lot of help. I know I had Joe Alt last time, but if MHJ is available, Chargers take him.
Yeah, the cupboard's pretty bare there at the wide receiver position. No Mike Williams, no Keenan Allen anymore. Quentin Johnston, last year's first rounder, and Josh Palmer are expected to be the two starters on the outside currently.
And here's the thing. I could see him trading back with the Vikings and getting him Dunze at 11. But if they don't trade with the Vikings and somehow, some way, Cardinals go neighbors over MHJ, I think it'd be absurd for them to go, hey, let's trade out of getting one of the top line wide receivers and giving a in-division rival a chance at getting a quarterback prospect.
Yeah, I'm on with the Giants here, and we're going to make it 3 for 3 on wide receivers. Daniel Jones needs help on the outside. He's never really had a true number one. Other weapons, losing Saquon, they re-signed Isaiah Hodgins, and then, never know how many games Darren Waller is going to play in a season. So get a Dunze, bona fide number one wide receiver out there, and get DJ some help in New York. And what's a big year for him?
Mm-hmm. Now, I got Tennessee. I think now with the top 3 wide receivers off the board, I think the best thing for them would to get more offensive help. They got, what was his name? Pierce Skoransky. How do you say his name? The guy from Northwestern last year.
Yeah, Skoransky. Yeah.
Skoransky, yeah. I think doubling up and getting Joe Alt would really help with this team. I would go Joe Alt, number 7 here for the Titans. I think get the best offensive lineman pick. It's a home run, in my opinion.
I was literally about to say that. Yeah, I think Brian Callahan desperately needs tackle help. They released Andre Dillard in the offseason. That free agent signing didn't work out. They really don't have anything else at the tackle position. So, yeah. Atlanta here at number 8. And, I'm fine with doing what everyone else is doing with Atlanta, and we're going to go with the first edge rusher here. We're going to go Dallas Turner. They were like 30th in sacks last year, and didn't re-sign Calais Campbell, so interior still needs some help as well, but the edge is pretty non-existent out there for the Falcons. So while they got a lot of work on the offensive side in free agency, they didn't really do a lot on the defense. So Dallas Turner.
Yeah. Well, I have the Bears at 9. Last time I took Brock Bowers, but that's kind of out of the picture now with them signing. What was his name? He's from
Gerald Everett.
Yeah, Gerald Everett. So I'm going to do something interesting. I'm going to do a trade. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be one of your teams because it's an even number pick. I think the Broncos trade up here.
One of my teams? What do you mean the Broncos?
Because you have even picks.
Oh.
So I was thinking oh, yeah. So I could see the Broncos moving up here, probably throwing in maybe next year second, maybe next year second and third, maybe 2. I don't see them.
Yeah, we can get away with a second next year, 73% chance.
Let's see. I could see this working.
Yeah.
I think this trade will make a lot of sense. Get a second round pick next year with the Bears. And if with the Broncos, you need a QB. You need a QB over the Raiders. You're gonna get the last great, upper echelon QB prospect. You're gonna go JJ McCarthy out of Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, I get the trade up. I don't know if they have to though. I don't know unless they do know the Raiders are calling as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know because they already pick in front of the Raiders, so potentially.
For me in that one, it's just kind of like having to work with other teams wanting to trade up.
But no, yeah, I get it because they're also in this scenario trying to get in front of the Patriots.
Yeah, and the Patriots could take JJ at 11.
Yeah. All right, I'm on the clock with the Jets here, and I am not going Brock Bowers. Aaron Rodgers probably love having Brock Bowers, but I am in the mindset that Tyron Smith is not going to play all 17 at left tackle. You need to get the left tackle of the future. And at this point, I think Talise Fuaga has kind of overstepped Fashanu. However, I am going to go Fashanu. I just think he's the better pass blocker. Fuaga is a better run blocker. And with having Aaron Rodgers, they're going to pass the ball more than run. So give me Olu Fashanu for the Jets at 10 there.
All right, now I have the Patriots. I think they're also going to get a tackle, especially getting who was that guy they just sent to the Bengals? Who just signed?
Yeah, Trent Brown.
Trent Brown. With Trent Brown leaving, I could see him taking Fuaga here. That makes the most sense to me. I think that's what the Patriots do. They try to build back up the O-line and prepare themselves for next year getting a quarterback.
Yeah, re-signed Mike Onwenu at right tackle this offseason, getting the left tackle, Fuaga there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I got the Bears now at 12. So we got Caleb Williams at 1. And now let's go. I want to go defense, kind of, but at the same time, yeah. All right, we'll go defense. I'm gonna go Jared Verse. They really didn't get anything outside of Montez Sweat last year. They need help opposite him. So give me Jared Verse for the Bears here at 12.
I like that. Now I have the Raiders. In our simulation, they failed to trade up. So they're kind of playing behind the 8 ball here. But I think the best thing for them would to get some interior line help. And Newton from Illinois. I know in this thing it has Byron Murphy above Newton, but I think Newton's very good. So I would see the Raiders taking from Illinois defensive line.
I disagree.
You disagree?
Yeah.
You think they take Murphy?
I don't. I disagree on that position.
Really?
Because they signed Christian Wilkins in free agency.
Oh my God, that's right.
Stored up the defensive interior D line need.
That is right.
So I would go corner.
You know what? Hold on. I forgot about that. Maybe you're right. You know what? I'm going to change my pick. They're going Quinion Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo.
Yeah. That's who I'd pick.
I completely forgot about the Wilkins signing. So, yeah.
All right. On to the Saints here. And Brock finally goes, give Derek Carr some help. I know it's probably more likely that they need a wide receiver. However, the next kind of group of wide receivers isn't until the late in the 20s with Brian Thomas, Lad McConkey, and those kind of guys. Mm-hmm. They do need tackle as well with Ryan Ramczyk being restructured. This might be his last year. Trevor Penning really hasn't worked out at left tackle. However, I'm going to go Brock. Give Derek Carr a big weapon. And, I like Brock to the Saints here.
I'm going to like that. Now the Colts. This one is tough. I had them somehow getting a Dunze last time. And I'm kind of like with you with the Saints. They need a wide receiver, but I just don't see them taking someone like a Donnie Mitchell this early, or who's the wide receiver from LSU? Brian Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see them reaching at this point. So they could trade back. The problem is I don't know who they would trade back with. So I'm going to go best player available, and I'm going to go Cooper DeJean. I think that kind of just works for them. I think getting DB help would help a lot, and Cooper DeJean has been pretty high on a lot of people's boards. So I think taking Cooper DeJean at 15 here for the Colts would be a pretty good pick.
Yeah, I think it's fine. They need secondary help, corner safety versatility with DeJean. As long as his medicals check out, he should be top 20, top 25 pick. They re-signed Kenny Moore, however, he's a nickel. So, on with the Seahawks here, and this is a team that does not need interior D line anymore. They re-signed Leonard Williams, so Byron Murphy, Johnny Newton, both out. They have their tackles. They need interior help though. So I'm going to go with the top center on the board here. Go JPJ, Jackson Powers Johnson for Seattle.
All right. Well, that leaves me with the Jags. And if I had my chance, I would have taken JPJ with the Jags pick.
Mm-hmm.
So this makes it tough. They still need more line help. So, but the problem is there's not a lot of interior guards up here. They could always take a tackle and convert them. Like they could, take JC Latham and convert them. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if they'd want to do that. So, what do I want to do here? I'm going to kick the can down the road by announcing a trade.
I was going to say, I know what I would do, but
I'm going to trade with Miami with the 21st pick. Because I think Miami is going to be very interested in one of those top flight defensive line players.
Yeah, I'm going to go second. I think that's all it would take to move up 4 spots again in the first round. Mm-hmm. Dolphins really don't have the picks this year to trade, so
yeah.
And we're going to force it.
Yep. And with Miami's pick, you lose Wilkins. I think you get Johnny Newton out of Illinois. I know Byron Murphy's fine up boards. I like Murphy, but I think I like Newton for them a little more.
Yeah, again, I think Jer'Zhan Newton's the better player. The higher upside his is, like I said before, just the medicals have to check out for him.
Mm-hmm.
With Cincinnati here, it's tough. Brock Bowers isn't there anymore. However, they do have a need at right tackle. Jonah Williams is gone. So give me, let's go Troy Fautanu here. Give the Bengals and Joey B some protection up front.
All right. Well, I have the Rams. And now with Aaron Donald retiring, I feel like there's such a temptation to get D-line and go Byron Murphy the second here. But I'm not going to do that. Like my first time drafting with them, I took a cornerback, and here I think they would also take a cornerback, and I'd go Nate Wiggins out of Clemson.
All right. Yeah, on with my Steelers here, and board sets up pretty good for them. Corner and tackles are available. Corner not as big of a need anymore. They can go in the second round now with the addition of Dante Jackson. Wide receivers also a need with the Deontay Johnson trade. However, with how deep the wide receiver class is, perfectly fine with waiting on that position. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go tackle. You can never find good enough good offensive linemen. And I am going to go with J.C. Latham. I know a lot of people want the Georgia connection, Amarius Mims, Broderick Jones together. The only way I'm picking Mims, though, is if it's the only tackle available, because I just don't know. With only playing 8 career college games, the medicals scare me on Amarius Mims, so I'm going to go with J.C. Latham. especially because Latham played a lot of right tackle before he switched to left last year. So we'll kick Broderick Jones to the left side, put Latham at right tackle.
Well, I have the Jags. I have them trading back. And like you mentioned, I could go Mims. I could go Barton out of Duke and go offensive line. But I think you have a great opportunity to get someone to pair with Josh Allen on D-line and get another edge and get Letea Letu, edge rusher out of UCLA. I've seen him as far up as 11, but I like him here with the Jags trading back, getting a decent edge rusher, and pairing him with Allen.
Yeah, Laiatu Latu, solid edge rusher. Not where I would have went. I would have went with the guy that I'm about to draft right here, though, with the Jags. I'm going Tyrion Arnold with the Eagles. Secondary is a big need. They need safety more. I don't think Tyler Nubin is a first-round pick. As you can see, his ADP is in the 30s. Mm-hmm. So, it's either really for me, Tyrion Arnold or Brian Thomas. They need a third wide receiver, does the Eagles. So you could also go Graham Barton, kick him inside to guard and fill the void that's going to be left when Cam Jurgens moves to center. Mm-hmm. So, but I think secondary is the biggest need on this roster, and safety is less of a need now with the C.J. Gardner-Johnson signing, but Tyrion Arnold here for Philly.
Now, I have the Patriots. I had them taking a tackle at 11, so I don't think they would need to go tackle here. Now, could you scroll down just slightly? I could go Adonai Mitchell. I don't know. I feel like that'd be an overreach. I think if I'm the Patriots at this point in the draft, you could get a wide receiver, but again, who's throwing to them? I think you could look at your needs and go, okay, I could stick with needs, or you could go best player available. And in my opinion, if Byron Mitchell II keeps falling this far to 23rd, I think if you're the Patriots, you go, all right, this guy's great. This guy should be in mid-teens, and he's fallen to 23. I see no reason to let the slip continue because you already drafted for need at 11. You can take best player available right here and really beef up that interior defensive line. So if I'm the Patriots, I would go Byron Murphy here.
They need to draft for need again because they need to take Brian Thomas Jr. They have nothing at wide receiver.
You think so?
That's what I would do, but it's your pick. So
I was thinking wide receiver. Maybe they could trade back with a team that needs D-line. Like maybe they could trade back with the Cardinals at 27, maybe Packers at 25, or Bills at 28. But I don't know. You got a couple teams behind them that are looking at D-line. And I like Byron Murphy a lot. I think if you get him at 23, it's kind of a steal. And I do like Thomas. I do like Adonai Mitchell. But it's, again, I still would go Murphy if I'm the Patriots here. I would sit and pick.
Yeah, that screws my pick up because that's who I was going to pick with the Cowboys. They need interior defensive line help as well. But it actually doesn't hurt that much. It's going to be Amarius Mims here for Dallas. Tyron Smith gone. They can kick Tyler Smith from right tackle to left tackle now and get the next guy on the right side, or keep Tyler Smith on right and put Amarius Mims at left, whichever one. It's really interesting, Dallas selecting a guy that has injury concerns when they – just lost Tyron Smith, who's had injury concerns throughout his career as well. So, but no, I'm going to go with Amarius Mims here for Dallas.
All right, now I have the Packers. They had a pretty good season last year. No good defensive line prospects left. So I think we'll probably see back-to-back offensive line here. So I think they go Barton here from Duke. I think this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, I see Graham Barton as more of a guard.
Hmm.
So I would go Tyler Guyton. But if you want Barton,
It's just they need general offensive line help,
they
especially
need
with.
tackle
Hmm,
more than guard. But
hmm. Let's see. I guess you could. You know what? I feel like the teams behind them will also need interior line, and they need outside line. So yeah, you know what? I'll go Guyton here because I feel like either the Cardinals or Buccaneers could take Barton because both those teams need interior line help.
yeah, I'm on the clock with the Bucks, and they've done a lot of stuff, re-signing their own guys. Baker, Mike Evans, Antoine Winfield on the tag. Uh, they're an interesting one. They lost Devin White or they lost Devin White in free agency. Levante David is on a 1 year deal. I could really see them going with Peyton Wilson. I think, the Bo Nixes are there and probably need some D line help as well. But I think the best player available for the Bucks and what they need is to go get a defensive playmaker, and that's going to be Peyton Wilson here.
I like that. All right, I have the Cardinals. With their first pick, you took Neighbors. So the wide receiver need is not there right now. I could see him go center and going Zach Frazier out of West Virginia. Although I could see them maybe trading back with a cute wide receiver hungry team late in the first. So, do I want to take that risk? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to trade back with the Baltimore Ravens at 30th.
I was going to say, you better not do it with my damn Panthers.
No. I don't think the Panthers would trade back into the first. I think the Cardinals would trade back with Baltimore because I think Baltimore sees both, the Bills and maybe the Lions as possible threats to take wide receiver at their spots. And they're not re-signing OBJ. And as good as Zay Flowers was in this first year, we're seeing both. I don't want to, again, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago when we did this earlier. I don't want to substantiate possible criminal proceedings because I'm not hearing much from Zay Flowers so far, but that could be an issue. And, we've seen teams draft young wide receivers to pair with each other. I mean, you look at the Vikings, you have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and you have other teams that are really finding success with very young wide receivers. So and if you look at Baltimore, you're like, all right, we just need more weapons for Lamar. So I can see them trading up here with the Cardinals, just a couple spots up, give up, a late third to sweeten the deal with Arizona. So yeah, I see Baltimore trading up here and then getting their guy Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the pick. Top wide receiver off the board. I'm on with Buffalo here. It's pretty much got to be wide receiver. You look at AD Mitchell, 6'4", 196, big size. He's a lot bigger than what he plays at. Ladd is more of a slot, 6', 185. So they re-signed Isaiah McKenzie. So I kind of think that takes him out of the slot guys, Ladd McConkey, Xavier Worthy kind of guys, Ricky Pearsall. They need another guy on the outside to help Stephon Diggs. So I'm going to go with Adonai Mitchell here for Buffalo. Corner also should definitely be in consideration because the loss of Tre'Davious White, releasing him, they really don't have a lot. Dane Jackson signed with the Panthers. So corner also is a big need for Buffalo, but I'm going to go AD Mitchell.
All right, I have the Lions. And it says they need interior line help, but I don't know how much help they'd want, considering how just really good their line already is.
It sets up perfectly for him.
I know.
Graham Barton.
I know, but you look at what's happening this offseason, you know, with Cam Sutton and what's his name going back to Philly?
CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Gardner-Johnson. I could see them kind of looking at this draft and like, all right, we need some defensive back help. And Kool-Aid McKinstry at 29 kind of interests me here. I know Kool-Aid McKinstry has had some injury issues. He kind of dropped in the boards. But I think his upside is something Detroit would really like. I could see them going O-line and getting Barton, but I think they really like their O-line already. And with what happened in the NFC Championship game and with what they've lost this offseason in defensive backfield, I think Kool-Aid McKinstry makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah, I would have picked Graham Barton if it would have fit in perfectly at the one guard spot left by Jonah Jackson leaving in free agency. But Cardinals, you need to get Kyler. You already got Kyler help at Neighbors, so could go defense. However, I am going to go back to the offensive side of the ball. They lost DJ Humphries. They released him, probably going to retire. Drafted Paris Johnson last year. He'll kick over to the left side. Let's go Jordan Morgan to put him on the right side, solidify the edges for Kyler Murray.
I like that. Now I have the 49ers here. With the retirement of Trent Williams, you could definitely see them going O-line.
Trent Williams retired?
Yeah. You not hear that? I thought he did.
No.
Am I getting this wrong?
Yeah. I have not heard that.
I thought he was. Am I wrong? I guess I was. I thought he was. Or was it like, I think he might be going into his last season. Like, I think he was considering maybe this year being his last season.
Yeah, he will play in 2024.
Okay, so maybe I misheard, and maybe I was thinking, he was mulling retirement after this upcoming season. So maybe not. Maybe they could go corner. They do need some defensive help. This is a tough thing about the 49ers. They have a lot of good things everywhere. So it's kind of hard to gauge what they'll do. I could see him going corner with TJ Tampa or Mike. How do you say his name? Sainristil?
Yeah, Sainristil.
Lassiter. I don't see him going edge because they just signed Leonard Floyd. I don't know what they'd really want. Maybe Kingsley, the tackle from BYU. I don't know. They could go Graham Barton. Just kind of take best available. I guess I'm going to go safe and just take Graham Barton as the best available and just solidify that offensive line.
Yeah, they do need interior line help as well as a little bit of tackle. Colton McKivitz hasn't really been great at right tackle. So, but yeah, it's good pick other than corner. I mean, that would be the other thing. So yeah, I mean, it's the Chiefs. What do they need? Wide receiver. Hollywood Brown's only on a 1-year contract. So they need someone to pair for the future with Rashee Rice. And tackle also would be something to look at. I think it's a little early for Kingsley Su'a-Mata'ia. Corner also definitely in play now. Ladarius Need in Tennessee. So it can go a lot. It's a lot more open now, I think, for the Chiefs at 32 than what it once was. I'm still going to stick with wide receiver, though. I'm going to go with my guy, Ladd McConkey. I think that's a perfect fit. It's kind of weird. It would be really weird, though, because while they have Rashee Rice, who is a little bit taller, they'd get McConkey, who's kind of the same thing as Hollywood Brown is in terms of height and measurables there. But yeah, I think I'm still going to stick with the wide receiver. Give Patrick Mahomes another weapon there in Ladd McConkey.
Yeah, with the Chiefs too, I could definitely see them trying to trade up to get a wide receiver in late first, try to get someone like Brian Thomas or Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah. So here's our mock draft 3.0. I got Caleb Williams, the Bears at 1. Of course, Jaden Daniels, Commanders at 2. Drake May for your Vikings at 3 with a trade up. Malik Neighbors to the Cardinals at 4. Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Chargers at 5. 6 got Roma Dunze to the Giants. Joe Alt to the Titans at 7. Dallas Turner for the Falcons at 8. JJ McCarthy with the Broncos at 9 in the trade up. Olu Fashanu for the Jets at 10. Patriots trading back, getting Talise Fuaga at 11. Bears going with Jared Verse at 12 in a trade back. Raiders getting Quinyon Mitchell at 13. Brock Bowers to the Saints at 14. Cooper DeJean to the Colts at 15. 16 to go with Jackson Powers Johnson to the Seahawks. Jerzon Newton for the Dolphins at 17 in a trade up. Troy Faltano for the Bengals at 18. Nate Wiggins for the Rams at 19. J.C. Latham for the Steelers at 20. Laiatu Latu for the Jags at 21 in a trade back. Tyrion Arnold for the Cardinals at 22. Patriots second pick getting a Byron Murphy the second at 23. Amarius Mims for the Cowboys at 24. Tyler Guyton for the Packers at 25. Peyton Wilson goes to the Bucks at 26. Brian Thomas Jr. to the Ravens at 27 in a trade up. Bills get Adonai Mitchell at 28. Kool-Aid McKinstry for the Lions at 29. Jordan Morgan to the Cardinals at 30. Graham Barton for the 49ers at 31. And the Chiefs rounded out with Ladd McConkey. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like most of them, some of them you put me in a little bit of a bind, but
I could see teams doing that too. Like, I feel like the Patriots would not want to give the Cowboys a top flight defensive lineman. So I could, and especially with them already having gotten, Fuaga at 11, I would not see them doubling up with tackle. They could have gone wide receiver. My only issue there is, I feel like with the talent of the wide receiver in the late first round, if they wouldn't trade back, I feel like it would have been a reach at 23. They still could have. I don't know. I'm a little hesitant for rebuilding teams taking skill positions, especially when it comes to skill positions where players aren't mocked in that area. And you look at the Patriots, they're pretty deep in the rebuild, and getting trench help would help them a lot. And their starting QB right now would be Jacoby Brissett. I don't think they would care to be like, all right, let's give them Brian Thomas Jr. when they could, focus elsewhere.
Yeah, one interesting thing that we didn't do is no Bo Nix, no Michael Penix.
No. It's just I think for me too, it was just looking those late first round draft picks. I don't really see anyone in the late first round really going for a quarterback, even for a backup quarterback. The only team I could see maybe doing it is the Bucks. Mm-hmm. Maybe have a backup to Baker, but again, Baker signed a 3-year deal. And I don't know, maybe you'd want Bo Nix. Do you want Bo Nix at 26?
Well, maybe. I was thinking about it, but didn't pull the trigger on that one. The Broncos, if they don't get JJ, are the team, I think. I said this last time. Bo Nix to the Broncos seems like a perfect fit schematically. So I think if the Broncos do like Bo Nix, and they're okay with hoping that he's there in the late first, I mean, that's a big gamble, but
yeah. But I mean, they have 12. So I mean, I could see any team from honestly 17 through 22. That's we'll trade up, and going from 12 to 18. I don't see any team between 12 and 18 right now taking Bo Nix. So you could comfortably trade back until late teens from the early teens and probably still get your guy in Bo Nix if that's what you want in Denver.
Yeah. Alrighty. That is the mock draft 3.0 from the FAA crew. And make sure you catch the show later tonight. And we will see y'all back next